the Porsche Carrera Cup 2012. Last stop, Hockenheim. 2 drivers, 1 title. On one hand, it is René Rast, overall leader, 12 podiums, 6 victories, impressive. And still greedy. Only Frank Stippler in 2003 gained Carrera Cup and Super Cup crowns in one season before. On the other hand, his opponent, his teammate, Sean Edwards. His statement, 4 wins, 7 poles, season best. The gap to Rast, only 12 points. The final in Hockenheim, who will make it to the top?
René, you're leading the championship so close to the end. What do I have to do to push you from the top?
Actually, I think you need some luck this year. If you want to pass me in the championship, I think you have to push me off the track.
Will you be quite sad when I win the championship?
Yeah, I would prefer it with my own championship party, so maybe we can make a party together.
But Edwards, back to the wall, has to long for mistakes. Mixed emotions and expectations, even in the paddock. If Rast avoids mistakes, he will do it. I would prefer Sean Edwards. Both of them deserve the victory. The best should win. Even in the new B-class, the decision is yet to come. Best chances for Bill Barazzetti, the German dentist with a comfortable advantage after winning in Oschersleben. Trailing by 19 points, it is Dutchman Wolf Nathan on 2, with only little chances on the title. I'm second in the B-class. Of course, you are longing for the crown. At the beginning I just wanted to improve myself, but now it's thrilling. I want success.
Vangt het aan zo kriebelen, sagen wir, natuurlijk auch die Champions zu werden.
In the battle for the Rookie of the Year award, it is France versus Denmark. Kevin Estre against Porsche Junior Michael Christiansen. The Frenchman leading by 19 points. Less chances for the Dane. The final weekend in Hockenheim, Judgment Day. Head to head in the title race, the final curtain falls where it's been pulled up. Hockenheim, the overall leader René Rast, reliable, fearless and fast. Teammate Sean Edwards, runner-up in last year's campaign, 12 points behind, waiting for his chance. For some people, too much pressure. Advantage Edwards in qualifying, the Brit, double pole, exclamation mark from him. Rast starting with problems, finally propelled his 911 on P3 with new tires. In between, a Dane. Nicky Thiem can be a factor at the start and the whole race for his long-anticipated title chances. The start of race 1 at Hockenheim. Pole setter Sean Edwards points out his direction. Second, Nicky Thiem in need of another good result. René Rast's device: don't bother, don't be bothered. Perfect start for Sean Edwards, claiming the inner lane and closing the gap for Nicky Thiem. The Dane leaves René Rast behind, who tries to avoid contact. The overall leader just needs a good result to gain the championship. Then, later in the round, at the hairpin, the unbelievable happens. Rast gets pumped from behind, which makes him turn. In the slow motion you can see Philipp Eng pushes Rust and drills him to the very end of the field. But not on purpose. No penalty, the commissioner's decision. Afterwards, Rust won't give up. He keeps on pushing hard, gaining back place for place and point for point. Then round 8, another big upset for a brave sportsman. Tire damage again for Sean Edwards. Similar to the season opener 7 months ago, he has to retire his 911 in the lead. What a pity. Twist of fate for René Rast. Hans-Bernd Kamp speechless at the bridge. Further on, René Rast merciless. In a tough battle, he overtakes Michael Ammermüller for P7, which means title. 8 points for him, no chance for Edwards to recover. But right in front, double victory for Attempto. Nice finish for Akin Aka and his group, and the 4th season win for Nicky Team. On P7, René Rast crosses the finish line, the new champion. Bad luck for Sean Edwards, again P2. Nicky Team luckily saves P3 with today's victory. Winner in the B class, Bill Barazzetti. But the gleaming winner has his thoughts with his unlucky teammate. I didn't know where he came in, and that's why I'm not aware of the final result. Right now I cannot believe it. And with a glass of champagne and the picture of a happy man, we continue with the live stream.
There is a feature. Hello everyone, welcome to Hockenheim on this Sunday morning, a big day of racing here in Germany, and there is the newly crowned champion of the Porsche Carrera Cup, René Rast. He's added this title to his Super Cup title that is already won earlier in the year, and there is René. Yes, he's won 2 titles. He clinched that yesterday after dramas for Sean Edwards. Yes, hello everyone, I'm Andrew Marriott. Alongside me is Dave Richardson, and Well, some of the pressure off, Dave, now that the title is won.
Yes, indeed. But you mentioned there dramas for Sean Edwards. There were dramas for Rennie Rast as well. Let's not forget he got tagged in the early part of the race and then had to drive like an absolute demon to cut a swathe through the pack. And playing into his hands a bit was Sean Edwards, who, in almost a carbon copy of his disaster here at Hockenheim right at the start of the season, picked up a puncture.
He did in the one of the back wheels. So, yeah, Rast went almost to the back of the field, came racing back through again. Kevin Estra then. We have Michael Christiansen, the 22-year-old Dane, on pole position, however. And also more news for Sean Edwards, because it just went from bad to worse. After the puncture, to get it back to the pits, he took a shortcut through the stadium section and changed the wheel, went out again. You're not allowed to take that shortcut, so he was black flagged. He ignored that, and because of that, he will start down on the 6th row of the grid because he gets a penalty.
Yes,
so
a 10-place grid drop for Sean. Well, in his desperation to try and get back to the pits, yes, he did take that shortcut, didn't he? And he's been penalised for it. But it went from bad to worse for Sean, and then all played into the hands of Rene, who did, as you say, take the championship yesterday. So, scene is set for what is going to be the grand finale on this season for Porsche Carrera Cup.
It certainly is. I mean, we've got Christiansen on the pole there, looking for his first victory. A lot of success in the past in single-seaters in GP3 last year. And this has been a learning season for him with the Conrad team. You see their familiar colours on the front row of the grid. Obviously, Sean Edwards got quite a lot to prove today, see if he can get onto the podium. A race which he won last year.
Yes.
Of course, this new format for the Porsche Carrera Cup calls for 2 races over the weekend. Last year, it was a longer single race, and Sean Edwards won that a year ago. So, there is the 14 car of Rennie Rast. What a season he's had. This is his second Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland title. He won it first back in 2008. The grandstand starting to fill up, of course. Today we will see the DTM decided on this track a little later this afternoon. But the action kicks off today with the Porsche Carrera Cup. And should provide plenty of entertainment, excitement, and a few tricky moments, I would suggest, Dave.
Yes, certainly that was the case yesterday. A big grid of cars as they roar off on their formation lap, and very sideways there as they get away. That was Klaus Bachler, the junior driver that races in the Two Limit team, the familiar yellow colours that are on the cars of Sean Edwards, Rennie Rast, the new champion, and also Klaus Bachler, that junior driver as well. So Rennie Rast now, having added this title, which is perhaps no surprise to that of the Super Cup. Where does he go from here, Andrew? He's been very loyal to Porsche, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. I mean, he did think that he might get a drive with Audi for this season in the DTM, and insiders in German motorsport tell me that one of the problems is that Rennie's management is somewhat fractured. He's got about 4 different managers, and they don't always speak with the same tongue.
Right.
And that hasn't helped him. Plus, he's not a driver that is used to major downforce. These cars, obviously, they derive from the road car. They don't have a huge amount of downforce. And Rennie wasn't incredibly impressive when he drove the Audi. I must have been about last March now, and they gave the drive to Adrian Tambay instead. But maybe there's a chance for him still.
Well, we'll see.
To get his management situation sorted out, perhaps.
Yes, here's the grid. Christiansen on pole, then alongside him the new champion Rennie Rast. Then we see Nicky Tim, Kevin Estra, Norbert Seidler and Philipp Enger, with Klaus Bachler and Clemens Schmidt, Jaap van Lagen and Renauer, who was featuring yesterday. Then we see Sean Edwards back down there, P11 on the grid, Andrew, with Lucas Frommenweiler, Ammermuller, Scholze, Pavoda, Spengler, Hart, Voss the Boss, Nielsen, Bill Barazetti and Wolf Nathan. That's the grid then, 22 starters, Andrew.
Yeah, obviously there's the amateur section we've mentioned many times before, the B category, and Bill Barazetti did win that championship yesterday. Congratulations to him, the German dentist, beating the mass ranks of the Dutch drivers from Land Motorsport.
Yes.
So he's got 240 points. His nearest rival, Wolf Nathan's got 217, only 20 to play for.
So 18 laps to run then, this 4.5 kilometre circuit here at Hockenheim that saw the start of the season and is going to see the conclusion as well, as the cars come round the final turn now to head up, to line up ready to start this race. Their formation lap done and dusted.
Yeah.
There is the new champion, René Rast, then. Will have been in good spirits last night. A point you made, though, Andrew, these guys are, of course, professional racing drivers. They won't have been out celebrating too much last night because of the early start today.
Can't afford to do that, an early start, as you said. Well, during that race, halfway through that race yesterday, we thought that it was going to the wire because Edwards was leading the race. Rast was fighting his way up through the field. It definitely was going to go to the wire. And then, of course, Edwards' puncture ended all that. There is the 20-year-old Christiansen, a 22-year-old Christiansen, I should say. And one of the two Porsche junior drivers, placed with two different teams, incidentally. In the past, we've seen many junior drivers. They had their own team. Remember the brown colours of UPS, but that has gone away now. As we get ready, and the lights go to 4, go to 5. And Dave, take it away.
Here we go. It is the final race in the Porsche Carrera Cup for 2012, and Christiansen gets away nicely. Rast, the new champion, loses a place. He goes backwards. Edwards absolutely flying through the grid. He needs to prove something today. You can see Rast go off the track there. That first corner, a lot of people go off there. Just cold tyres, Andrew.
Yeah. Anybody tagged at the hairpin?
Rast is going backwards, Andrew. The new champion is having a mare of it out there.
What problem has he got? All the 3 2-limit cars, the yellow cars, are running together.
So, yes, you've got Rast, you've got Edwards, and you've got Backler together there, but Rast has lost something like 4 places in no more than a third of a lap as they head up towards the hairpin now. This the scene of many disasters yesterday. Is anyone going to get tagged? No, at the moment, everyone goes through safely. So the cars do manage to get through there with no dramas.
And 16 is Rast, is Edwards.
Yes,
14 is Rast.
Rast has gone back. Backler's gone past him, so Rast clearly with a problem there. He, of course, already having won the championship, he's got nothing to prove, but nonetheless is a racing driver. He wants to win every race that he's in.
But Christiansen out in the lead at the moment. Michael Christiansen from Denmark. Somebody was very tail happy there through that corner.
Now these fantastic, they're GT3 cars, Andrew.
Yep.
And can see Clemens Schmidt there in 19 was very, very close to Michael Ammermuller, the returning Ammermuller, Christiansen, Tim, Estra, Seidler. Then we see Enger, then we see Backler, Rast and Edwards. So,
yeah, and it was Enger yesterday, the former Formula 2 driver who...
that's a spinner for René Rast. He's gone round.
It's all going wrong for René Rast.
Is he going to collect anyone? No, he manages to avoid anybody else. So, be interesting. We'll see a replay of that, whether René got tagged there. He got tagged yesterday, is right at the back of the pack now. It's almost a carbon copy of yesterday, Andrew.
Except there's nothing at stake now.
No.
No, just lost it on the
he
AstroTurf, or I think it is AstroTurf there.
Now, double donut there.
A 720.
And his wiper flying up in disgust as well.
Yeah.
Well, as you say, there's nothing to...
and lucky it wasn't hit.
Yeah,
See how quickly he got it in first gear and managed to accelerate out of the danger area. Cars pounding down on him.
Well, again, he goes right to the back of the pack now.
Christiansen, of course, driving for the team which provided Nick Tandy with the victory in this championship last year. Conrad Motorsport, another Conrad car going through. And another Danish driver. One of the amateurs, Christina Nielsen, I noticed going pretty well.
Yes.
91 car. She is in 18th place at the moment.
So Wolf Nathan now is under some pressure from Voss the Boss. We were watching just there, and interestingly, I picked up right at the back of the pack, Andrew, and I couldn't see Rast there. So whether he is he's actually gone off or not, I don't know. But
Edwards is up to 7th.
And the one to watch from the 2 Limit team is Klaus Bachler, the junior driver. He's had a blistering start and is down there in P6 at the moment. So the 2 Hermes cars go through. Tim and Estra then second and third. Wolf Nathan.
For Wolf Nathan.
Now, I saw Wolf Nathan, and he was battling with Herbert Voss. So we'll see.
He's trying to move the car.
See what happened there.
Well, that's probably a wise thing to do.
So there was Nathan. And
on the curb, snagged it.
Yeah.
And then into the barrier pretty hard.
So that's the end of Wolf Nathan's race. The Uponor distributor from the Netherlands, and there another angle, Andrew, and that was a big impact.
It was a big impact. And bits flying off the car, the right front wheels off, and there's Rennie Rast.
So I was right,
and
he did
looking at the
park
back of the car. He hasn't climbed out yet. Quick discussion with him on the problem.
So Christiansen, Tim, Estra, and it's Tim and Estra that we see there. Nicky Tim. Christiansen managing at the front there with, what have we got? Second gap back to Nicky Tim in second place, then it's Estra, then it's Seidler. Rast is out of the car now. So that's Rast's race done and dusted. Hans Bernd Kamps up there, the team owner, watches on, and with pursed lips there from the pit perch. So Rennie Rast out. There's Klaus Bachler then getting past Philipp Enger. Klaus Bachler's one to watch in this race. I'm convinced of that. The junior driver, did a feature on him at the beginning of the season. He's performing really, really well. There's Sean Edwards with, as you said, Andrew, a lot to prove today. Down there in P7 at the moment. There's Clemens Schmidt and Lucas right behind.
Christiansen in the lead, and he's had 1 podium this season. He was 3rd at Lausitzring, so this is by far and away his best drive of the year as Van Lagen gets a penalty. Saw it on the screen there, and Jaap Van Lagen from 14th place.
So drive-through penalty for Jaap Van Lagen then. As we see the front runners coming through, Bachler now up into 5th place. Next in the sights of his target, Norbert Seidler in P4 at the moment, as we're watching Sean Edwards, who's down there in P7 at the moment. He's got some work to do. Philipp Enger is next, and Sean getting close to Philipp Enger now. So having had a torrid time of it in the race yesterday, that carried over to today with his 10-place grid penalty for ignoring the black flag. But there is the junior driver, Klaus Bachler, crossing the line, another lap completed.
Christiansen had a big lock up into the first corner, the north curve. We should state that Sean Edwards has got nothing to lose, Dave, because he's firm in second place. He's the runner-up in the championship. He can't be beaten to that spot. He can't obviously take the title. So for him, there's no pressure from a championship standpoint. You see the start again. But Nicky Tim looking for his 4th victory of the year in the Carrera Cup, and his 2nd of the weekend. But to achieve that, he's got to beat Michael Christiansen, who is looking for his first ever Carrera Cup win.
So we're checking out the replays.
The early action,
Yes, and that was Rennie Rast then, who just getting it onto that very wet, I suspect, that AstroTurf first thing in the morning. And that just proved...
Just wasn't enough grip, was it?
No.
There he is, walking away, being comforted. But I believe he is the first man to win the Carrera Cup Deutschland and the Super Cup in the same year. Maybe he'll pick up a Porsche contract next year. He's not one of the Porsche contracted drivers. Also great to see one of them here today, Dave. Timo Bernhard had that huge shunt at the Sebring, after the Sebring 12 hours. Audi, of course, Bernhard has been lent along with Romain Dumas to Audi for long distance racing. He had a huge shunt and was badly injured in that accident, but I saw him out and about in the paddock this weekend, and he's also helping train the juniors, and he's hoping to be back in a prototype next season. Remember that in 2014, Porsche are mounting a huge attack on the Le Mans 24 hours, going to try and win it outright, and I'm sure Timo Bernhard will be part of that.
Also making an attack now is Sean Edwards then, who wants to get past Philipp Enger, as you've made the point, is safe and secure in second place in the championship, but there's some pride at stake here, isn't there? After a disaster of a day yesterday, Sean wants to go as far up the result as he can, as he dives up the inside of Philipp Enger. Is Enger going to get the switch back? No, because Enger gets a bit of a drift on, or loses a bit of traction there as he's sideways, and Sean now tries to block any attempt for Philipp Enger to come back on him, and Sean, well, very cleverly made that stick, because Enger at one point, I thought he was going to be able to get back at him there.
Now he's got his teammate Backler in front of him. And meanwhile, Team Anestra closing up on Christiansen. Only 5 laps in thus far. Into the stadium section again. Grandstand seats filling up, and anybody that's arriving early for the DTM will get plenty of great racing to watch this morning, with also the final and deciding round of the F3 Euro Series will be following this.
So there we see the way it looks at the moment. Christiansen, Team Estra. Then it's Norbert Seidler, then Klaus Bachler, Sean Edwards now, Philipp Enger, and Renauer, who was quite impressive yesterday in the race.
Every so often Renauer goes quickly.
Yeah.
Ammermuller down in 10th. We thought Ammermuller would do the whole season, Dave, but in the end he decided to opt mainly for the Super Cup.
Yeah.
The ex-Red Bull Formula 1 tester.
So there we see Christiansen. There is Tim then in second place. Estra keeping him keen as well. And then it's Norbert Seidler. And these four now, about, what have we got, 0.8 of a second between each of them. And then it's back to Klaus Bachler. And Sean Edwards pushing very, very hard now back down there in 6th place with Klaus Bachler, his junior teammate, ahead of him. So there is Tim, not seemingly being able to bring it to Christiansen at the moment. Andrew, what have we got?
He's closing a little bit, isn't he? But not enough to make any kind of challenge.
6 laps done of 18 for this early morning race here at Hockenheim. And the conclusion of this Porsche Carrera Cup. Deutschland for this season.
Yeah, we understand the calendar will be very similar next year, with the Nürburgring 24-hour race on the Nordschleife included.
And we were talking yesterday, weren't we, that the format of 2 races seems to have worked. The teams seem to like it, so we expect that to stay.
Oof.
A lot of curb there, and Bollard as well. And it's interesting, Andrew, that you and I talking about this yesterday, whether Sean Edwards' aggressive curb taking is what has caused him 2 punctures at this venue, right at the start and right at the very end of the season.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Dave. It could be just bad luck, or it could be his aggressive drive.
So Estra,
switch there as Estra goes through to second. He's given Nicky Tim a chance, and now he's going to have a punt at getting at Christiansen himself. Edwards has got 1.5 seconds to make up on teammate Bachler for a top 5. Here is the replay of a very clean overtaking pass. A little bit of body work.
Yeah.
You see displaced on the front of the Porsche. There's Christiansen.
Now that front splitter that you can see.
And there the splitter goes, and he was losing downforce with
Yes.
that, and he's going to drop back now.
The most popular part in the Porsche
Yeah.
parts truck is that splitter.
Yep.
And there it is out on the
Yeah,
tracks.
I think it's a piece of plastic, isn't it,
Yes.
rather than carbon or fiberglass. So he's now not going to have the front downforce, as we've got a yellow flag held steady there.
Now Seidler is going to get past him now.
Presumably the flag is just for that piece of debris, or as they say in America, debris.
Debris. So then, when is Seidler going to make his move? Tim, as you say, losing a bit of that front end. That's going to slow him down. Norbert Seidler now needs to get past him. He's not going to be quite as helpful with Seidler as he was with his teammate Kevin Estra. So Seidler going to have to work for this.
Yeah, Seidler in the second of the Conrad cars.
And there he goes.
Yep. And he'll know he's lost that front splitter. And he'll be feeling it through the steering as well. As Backler and Edwards
Well, they'll have
closing up.
firmly in his sights now. And there, look at that. Backler right on his tail now. Klaus Backler having driven brilliantly in this race. And there goes Backler with his move up the inside.
Yep. So Christiansen, Estra, team, Seidler, Backler and Edwards is the top six, and it's Enger in the B category at the moment. It's Christina Nielsen, and she hasn't won that very often, Dave, just the once.
No, she's been on the podium a few times, hasn't she? But not.
At the Nürburgring second race, she did win the B category.
Here's Edwards, Harry and Tim now then. It's only a matter of time, and that time is rapidly approaching, i.e. now.
Yeah, goes through now.
Edwards goes through. Klaus Backler, just looking back there, his last podium, I think, was at Spielberg. So he's in P4 at the moment. So there is...
Nicky Tim is firm in third place in the championship. He can't have that taken away from him. Estra is fourth in the series. And in fact, all the top four positions are set. Whoa, Ammermuller just in the black and orange car,
Yes.
just taking advantage there. And Ammermuller,
Whoa,
getting a bit aggressive.
And Ammermuller loses out there to Frommenweiler.
Yep.
So here's, as you say, aggressive move there. Didn't pay initially. And whilst all that's going on, Clemens Schmidt is
Let's
behind.
have a look at this. Wow. Looked pretty deliberate, that, to me.
Did, rather, yes.
This is a replay of Sean Edwards with some downforce at the front, overtaking a man without any.
And that Seidler getting past him.
Yep. Now he's just going quickly backwards. Just shows
Does
how
make
much
a big
effort,
difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, how much difference the splitter makes.
Yes, it is really noticeable. Christiansen, Estra, Seidler, the 1, 2, 3 now. And here is Clemens Schmidt having a go at Ammermuller. Ammermuller and Frommenweiler battling in front of them. Enger coming under some pressure from Renauer now. Enger got some damage to the front, to that splitter on his car as well. Edwards there.
Yep.
Up to P5. He, of course, suffering that grid penalty. Dropped 10 places on the grid for the start of the race this morning, so up to P5 for Edwards. Of course, we've seen the retirement of the new champion, René Rast, in the early stages of this race, where we're on lap 10 of 18 to run here at Hockenheim.
On scene to us, Dave, Van Lagen had a drive through, I think, and also being adjudged to have a jump start from whoever boss. So he will get a drive through as well. Van Lagen's taken his drive through.
Yes, because he's showing down there P16 now, isn't
Yep.
he? There is Seidler, and Backler is just now beginning to get close enough to Seidler to
If
worry
anything,
him.
anything, Christiansen's pulling away from the rest
Yep.
of them.
Yep. So Backler would love to end the season on the podium.
Well, it'd be good for the junior drivers.
Yes, it would.
Go through a big selection, very tough selection process. And I'm not sure how many drivers are called to test and go through the various other disciplines they're checked out on, including their physical fitness, their ability to talk to camera and so on. But it's a pretty tough winter schedule. And Christiansen and Backler were chosen. Christiansen, as we said, running out of funds to continue his single-seater career. He had a couple of seasons in GP3. Haven't mentioned Robert Lucas much, Dave. He's one of the regulars from the Super Cup who's joined in the last couple of rounds, and Lucas running in 12th place, so we saw Rast watching on.
So there, Michael Christiansen then with the Porsche Junior on the top of the windscreen, as Andrew's been mentioning. Klaus Backler, another one of those drivers. Norbert Seidler now feeling the pressure a bit from Klaus Backler behind him. Bit of a lock-up there from Norbert Seidler.
Yeah, Backler's another man that's come out of single-seater racing in Germany, of the Formula Masters Series. He was second back in 2009, and he was also third in last year's ATS Formula 3 Cup. Again, another man that couldn't find the budget to go single-seater racing, so he's found a home here with Porsche. And if you look at the championship table, Christiansen is 7th and Backler 8th, so the two juniors have done a pretty similar job.
Backler, that's...
It was,
it was a bold move by Backler, wasn't it? And one that in the end didn't pay off, but what it will be a smile from René Rast and the crew there on the
I
pit
think
perch.
the lady with the pink bubble on her hat is René Rast's engineer.
Yes, she is. Yes, you're right. So Klaus is keen out there, and good on him for that.
And the gap now is 2.1 seconds between Christiansen and Estra. Certainly looking good for the young Dane here. Well, the Dane we usually see on the top step of the podium is Kurt Thiem. He's down in 6th place with the problems with that front splitter, which has disappeared.
But it's Nicky Thiem we see on the podium, but we've seen Kurt on there enough times as well.
Kurt, sorry. I always, that's an old bloke, you see, getting fathers and sons mixed up.
But you're right. I mean, Christiansen really is pulling it out now, isn't he? Latter stages of this, what we got, 5 laps left to run. Seidler.
Oh, yes, we saw the pit boards there, Dave. All the modern technology in the world. But still, those pit boards worked, hanging them out just the way we did back in the 1960s. In fact, the design had hardly changed since the early 70s. Famous British racing driver Les Leston, who did a bit of Formula 1 racing, was the forefront of pit board design.
Really?
Okay. Les died just...
was it Les Leston, did you say?
Les Leston, yeah. He was the king of all the motor racing accessories for a long time.
Okay.
Also a great jazz player, and he died just in the past year. Black flag for...
Voss the boss.
Yeah.
Herbert Voss then, who presumably hasn't taken his drive-through. And
well, they get 3 laps to take it. And the drive-through...
There is Herbert Voss.
Was 5 or 6 minutes ago, so we'll see what happens. So typical Porsche flat 6 grunt we heard then.
Yes, yes, it is one of the most distinctive sounds, isn't it, from a racing car,
yep.
the Porsche sound. So there's Seidler, and Backler, after his fairly ambitious move to get past Seidler, has backed off just a little bit, and you feel that in the closing stages of this he'll be having a go again as Seidler locks up once more. Seidler in 3rd, Backler 4th, then it's Edwards, who's not been able to bring much to Backler, has he? He's back there in P5, and there confirmation of the order then. Christiansen, Estra, Seidler, Backler, who we see right in the middle of the screen now, and there is Sean Edwards. Next up it's Nicky Tim, and Philip Anger with his own battle going on there, and a bit of a train behind him, including Renauer and Frommenweiler and Clemens Schmidt, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really discussed why Nick Tandy, who won this last year, isn't defending his title, and the number 1 plate has passed on to Seidler, who's taken over that car at Conrad Motorsport, but Nick moved on to the GT Open Series and some American Le Mans Series racing as well. So that would be a promotion. He also switched teams. But Nick Tandy was the star of this last year. There is Eng, who's making his Porsche pretty wide, and got a little nudge up the back, yes. Right up the exhaust pipe. And Muller right in that battle as well. But Christiansen now pulled away. Almost a 3-second gap. Let's look at that. Muller just goes down the inside. And now this battle is 2 groups of 3. So we're into the final 4 laps. Still pretty misty here, as you can see, Dave. And the autumn sun hasn't burnt off the mist yet. But we're expecting a beautiful day for the final of the DTM.
And now, once again, then, Backler turns the wick up, Andrew. 3 laps left to run. And Norbert Seidler under some pressure now as Klaus Backler, the junior driver, tries to find his way past him. He would dearly love to be on the podium in this closing round as Edwards goes a bit wide there, picks up a bit of dust off the runoff area. Oh, and, well, trying so hard there, Backler, as he gets sideways. Retirement there, and black flag, of course, for Herbert Voss. Rubs his back. Bit of a hand gesture there from Seidler. And Backler.
There's Christiansen's lead, look. 3.1 seconds. Backler will know that the other junior driver is in the lead. And I have to say, the selection process worked well because they found 2 really good young guns here.
Yes.
Moving into Porsche's not easy from single-seater racing. Another lock-up. It must have a bit of a problem with his brakes. Norbert Seidler, hugely experienced in these cars, of course.
And Backler right with him, following in every wheel track that Seidler makes. Seidler runs a bit wide, so too does Backler. But certainly we've seen a few lock-ups from Norbert Seidler as the pressure and intensity from Klaus Backler has increased. And Backler now knows that he is running out of time to make his move and make his move count. He's had one opportunity where he tried and just went in too deep and wasn't able to make the pass stick. Won't be making that mistake again, I feel sure. So this is probably the most exciting battle out there at the moment. And this is for the final podium place between Seidler and Backler. There's Norbert Seidler then, currently in 3rd. Klaus Backler right behind. Sean Edwards not able to help his teammate out too much because the pace that these two have set, Edwards hasn't really been able to encroach that much.
Ammanwaller still there in 10th ahead of Lucas and Schmidt. But Christiansen further increasing the lead now to 3.6 seconds as we run through the final couple of laps here at Hockenheim, the final race of the Carrera Cup Deutschland. And Michael Christiansen, the young man from Denmark, looks as if he's going to take his first victory in this series.
So as the race reaches its closing stages, Klaus Bachler, what can he bring to this battle with Norbert Seidler? Seidler has upped the ante, and another big lock-up from Seidler. That's the third or fourth that we've seen in the space of the last couple of laps, as Norbert Seidler can feel the pressure of Klaus Bachler behind. But at the moment, Bachler not able to find a way past him. Seidler, of course, going to make it as hard as he possibly can, and as you've said, he's a great racer in his own right, and the young whippersnapper behind.
Well, this will be a big moment for Christiansen, Dave, because I don't think he's won a race since 2009. Last year, as we said, he was in GP3. He was second in Istanbul and second in Budapest. They were his best results.
Yeah.
He was in GP3 in 2010, the first year of that series, had no decent results there. And in 2009, he was in the Formula BMW Europe Series where he finished in fourth, where I think he did have a couple of wins. So it's been a while since he stood on the top step of the podium, and it's going to be a great way for him to finish his season as a Porsche Junior. As we are on the last lap here at Hockenheim now, and I see Sean Edwards is right behind Bachler.
Yes.
But whether he can do anything about that, no point in taking some wild lunge down the inside of the hairpin.
So Bachler then with what remains of this lap to try and get past Norbert Seidler and to be up on the podium along with his fellow junior driver Michael Christiansen, who's going to win this by very nearly 4 seconds, Andrew.
Yeah, portent of things to come, I would say, in this championship next year.
Yep.
Quite sure whether the Porsche deal continues into another year. I suppose it depends what Porsche think of the young man. Well, they'll continue to fund him.
So there is Christiansen then, who dives and takes the checkered flag and wins the final race and locks up as he goes across there. In the end, Estra takes second place, untroubled. Seidler takes third. Bachler not able to take it to Seidler, and there's Franz Conrad.
Yeah, pretty fine driver in his time, Franz. Huge enthusiast. So he's got to take some credit for bringing the young man along into what is now a race winner. And fist out of the cockpit. And only a little country, Denmark, but it produces so many great racing drivers. And Tom Christiansen, spelt in a different way, of course. Le Mans winner, but many others as well. And René Rast gives us a thumbs up. The end of yesterday's race, we weren't absolutely 100% convinced that René Rast had won the title, Dave.
No,
I mean, I did the point score, and he had appeared to win the title, but there seemed to be no celebrations that we could see, and we just wondered if there was something in the background that we didn't know about. But apparently they did subsequently celebrate back at the truck.
Yes, I think the celebrations...
It might have been different if he'd won the race or something.
Perhaps so.
Yeah.
Perhaps so.
So anyway, there's no question of doubt about René Rast as the Super Cup champion.
So Franz Conrad then.
Yep.
Of course.
Yeah, he is, yeah. He's a veteran team boss. Oh, the foot trainer. Wonder what that means. What's a foot trainer?
Interesting. So Rast then with his...
wear the special hat.
Bobble hat, got to be on, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Got to be on.
Well, so I one off that one with the pink, because they've got those bobble hats, but I think they have a black bobble. But the lady engineer's got the pink one. So
Oh, right.
A bit of humour in that team.
Yeah, they are a good fun team, aren't they? And
A very professional too.
very much so,
The
yes.
owner of the team also owns a big motorsports promotion company. I think they do all the promotion for Deutsche Post. He was telling us in Valencia that he employs 30 people in that business.
Yes.
And he's got some interesting management techniques.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
They have a meeting with all the staff every morning where people can discuss their worries and their dreams and hopes.
So there then is, well, it's the conclusion of what has been an exciting season in the Carrera Cup.
Yeah, 17 rounds in all, 16 of them alongside DTM, and of course the Nürburgring 24-hour
On the
race will not...
No, that's not exclusive.
It's a one-off.
Oh, Andrew.
Oh, dear.
You and I will be owning one of those later.
I hope not.
I can rather see
Strange
you.
enough, we got given a lovely Porsche Carrera Cup hat this morning, didn't we?
Yes. I can see you tending to your potatoes in the garden with one of those on,
I think
Andrew.
not. I think not. Well, wife may play tennis in it, though.
So there's Franz Conrad then congratulating his Porsche Junior driver Christiansen then for taking that win. See Augusto Farfus in the background there.
Yeah,
of course, the
just
DTM
walking
warm-up to come.
Yeah, there's Farfus, and on the pole
Yes.
for the second race running. It's a Hans device.
Now, Franz Conrad is someone that you've known of for many, many years. Of course, really fantastic success with Nick Tandy, Andrew.
Yeah, but
many
before
other
that,
drivers
American
as well.
Open, remember Oliver Gavin winning
Yep.
winning his class in the Sebring 12 hours in a Celine run by Franz Conrad. He had an operation in America for a number of years, and the plan is to go back.
I was going to say, America is on the agenda again, isn't
but
it?
before that, I mean, Stick Blomqvist we just saw down there as well. His son, of course, will be racing in the Formula 3, the former World Rally Champion. Yeah, but Franz, as a driver, did one Le Mans, if I remember correctly, for Jaguar.
Right.
And you then ran a lot of his own cars at Le Mans Porsche 962s. But Dave, here's the
Here's the
final
result then. Christiansen, Estra, Norbert Seidler, the 1-2-3 with Klaus Bachler taking fourth, Sean Edwards in fifth. Then we saw Nicky Tim, Robert Renauer, Nicky Tim suffering with that splitter problem, Philip Frommenweiler eighth, Enger ninth and Lucas in 10th place. Then we see Schmidt, Ammermuller, Spengler, Pavoda, Jaap van Lagen, who suffered that drive-through penalty, Ilya Earhart, Christina Nielsen. She'll be pleased with her season, I'm sure, Christina. Florian Scholzer, Harry Colin and Bill the Drill Barazetti. Herbert Voss, Wolf Nathan, Rennie Rast, then those three, the retirements during the course of that race. So the race 17 result as published there here at Hockenheim. And here are the highlights then of the top three, starting in reverse order. Norbert Seidler came under increasing pressure from Klaus Bachler across the final stages of the race. Bachler having a real go and not able to quite make it stick when it mattered. Second place, Kevin Estra. And then the race winner, Michael Christiansen, the Porsche Junior driver, with a fantastic win, and going to be up there on the podium and celebrate in style. We feel sure about that. And there, team boss Franz Conrad being congratulated, and well done, Franz. Conrad Motorsport boss. And there, the podium. Franz looks on, then all smiles. National anthem time. So fist in the air in celebration. Presentation about to get underway, and Matthias Müller, chairman, making the presentation. So Matthias Müller, chairman of Porsche. Next it's Hartz Wolfgang, the R&D director. He makes the presentation to Kevin Estra. And then Mr. Müller should be back to present to Norbert Siedler. Indeed so. So lovely trophies, lovely smiles all round. So photos done and dusted, and this the bubbly being sprayed now on the end of a great race and a great season for the Porsche Carrera Cup. We've still got the B podium to come, and we will of course be bringing you that. Thinking of the bottles. So from our comms position here, high in one of the grandstands at Hockenheim, we can see the podium being cleared of the first 1, 2, 3. As you can see there, the Drivers' Championship finishing with René Rast and Sean Edwards first and second. Nicky Tim third, Kevin Estra fourth, Norbert Siedler then. We've just seen him on the podium with Kevin Estra in fifth place, Jaap van Lagen sixth, then Michael Christiansen up there. Taking the win in 7th place in the championship. So next it will be the B trophy podium. And in the B championship, Bill Barazetti, had won that. Harry Colin in 2nd place, Wolf Nathan 3rd, with Vos the Boss 4th, Christina Nielsen, who we should be seeing up on the podium. Hans Weimer and Peter Skarmax 6th and 7th in the B category of the Drivers' Championship. There indeed is Christina Nielsen. I think she's looking for some water. No, maybe not. So preparations then for the B podium. See bespectacled Bill there in the middle. And there indeed is Bill Barazetti, car number 33. Some great slow-mo shots here of Barazetti's car. So we ready ourselves for that podium. Christina right at the top. And once again, national anthem to come. So national anthem done as we see Nielsen, Colin and Barazetti there on the podium. Once again, we welcome back Matthias Müller with the trophy for Christina. Hartz Wolfgang, the R&D director. presents to Harry Kolen. And then actually the B Championship winner and taking third in the B category of the last race, Bill Barazetti. So podium done and dusted then for both the A category and the B category, and that brings to a close what has been a phenomenal Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland season, as Christina Nielsen gets promptly mullered in the Henkel Trock, and then in celebration, Harry Kolen, well, really had got it in for her then. And Christina tries to just get rid of some of that. That's absolutely all over her. So as the celebrations then, which I'm sure in the Porsche paddock area will continue throughout the day here at Hockenheim. From me, thank you very much for being part of the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany success story for 2012, and very much look forward to seeing you next season. Bye-bye for now.